Hey, everybody, how you doing? It's me, it's Kristi here on your Monday, and I don't expect that music to get copyright claimed, but let's have a talk about it just for a second, just in fucking case. You just heard the Rogues of Scotland, a traditional bagpipe and drum track, and I had this live version of that song that I have no idea where it came from. I just like decided to search bagpipes on LimeWire or something back when LimeWire was a going concern, and it just it a live version of that showed up. That song does slap, but the version I had slapped harder than that. I've never been able to find it again, and it's a real fucking bummer. But that's a good version. It's by Beer Belly. I don't know a lot about them as a group. I presume they play other traditional Scottish tracks. Maybe look them up and find out. That ain't my job. My job is to play the video games for you. I did new art too, because I was tired of seeing all of the fucking WWE logos on the walkout video, and I've been feeling for a while that it's weird that mine is the only one that's a video where everyone else has kind of stills, so I just went for this. So, we're gonna play more Sunless Skies. I got some stuff to talk about before we play some Sunless Skies. The first and most important, obviously, is that Black Lives Matter. Uh, Protests are still ongoing. Protests are going on right now. It's not an abstract. Protests are happening right now. People are gathering in city centers to protest. It is not abated, and those people need as much help as we can possibly give them. If you bang donate in chat, there is a list of places you can go to provide help for our current civil rights movement. Black lives, indigenous lives, the lives of people of color across this nation are uh, not as equal as perhaps was advertised. Uh, this is an important thing, and any help that you can give is deeply useful. The other thing I want to talk about before we get into the gaming proper is that Sunless Skies is a horror game. Here's your content warning. Sunless Skies is a game about cosmic horror. The moment-to-moment gameplay is pretty fine. You shoot the ship. You are in a ship. You shoot other ships. Um, there are monsters sometimes, but nothing's terribly graphic. And the thing about it is that there's also quite a lot of well-written text in the game, and some of the text is very well written and describes hideous things, body horror, self-harm, uh, upsetting animals, and things of this nature. I'm going to do my best to try and read ahead and let you know when something challenging is upcoming, but I might miss some. Here's your blanket content warning. We are if you need to talk about what you're feeling, this is a safe place to do that. If you need to bounce for a little while and come back later or come back on a different day, that's also okay. Please take care of yourself. So I'm going to hit some buttons. I meant to bring up our. This is also true, but we are currently reinstalling the bit goal. It's a very good background. I have no idea what the fuck it's from. So I played a bunch of Sunless Skies on Saturday to kind of build up a nest egg and get some of our officers back to where they were. The main thing that I needed to do was get a port report from every port in the Reach for our friend the Fatalistic Signalman. So the Fatalistic Signalman is about back to where he was. The other thing I did, because I thought it would be better to do it off stream, is the Incognito Princess needed some bee souls, some souls of bees, the round things with the wings that make honey. So I'm going to show you that dialogue real quick, just so you're not missing anything. This one's, I've pre-read this one. It's okay, more or less. The collection of bees. Collecting the soul of chorister bee swarms is traditionally an onerous endeavor, made a little easier by the distraction the incognito princess provides. She stands by her porthole, nose nuzzling against the glass, while the spectral remains of the swarm jostle just to be closer to her. "Oh, you little people already love me," she whispers, thrilled. While the princess is bonding, you have a more arduous task, slowly unwinding a soul from the bee's not-quite corpse while avoiding the last twitches of its sting. And it says down here, we need a bunch of bee souls. We've gotten them all. So the next time we find ourselves in the Reach, we can go to Caroline and make that happen. So hey Andy, hey Xenon, hey Mox. We're gonna jump into this line. We don't have a lot left to do in London. In fact, I just popped in so you can see the next piece of the fatalistic signalman story, which is another thing that I did accidentally. I had thought that we had gotten the port report things and then moved on with that, and it turns out that we hadn't, because I needed something that I didn't have at the time to activate that dialogue that I had now. So I just kind of clicked through and I was like, oh, I've never fucking read this before. So we're gonna see how that goes. Some C's, soul bees, or bowls of bee souls. Correct and terrible. So the fatalistic signalman wanted to go to the Steam and Sapphire yards, and particularly wanted to visit Shed 4. Which is where they keep the wrecks. Did you say jump into the slime? I did say jump into the line. Oh, rock your body now, jump in the line. Ooh, rock your body. Like the song from Beetlejuice. It exists in other places, but I know it from Beetlejuice. Jump into the slime isn't bad though. The signalman stops before a stately old wreck with flecking navy blue paint. This is her. None worked harder than the Eastern Bard line than she did. You look at the nameplate. The Charlotte Guest. Look how they left her, he says gloomily. That's not right. You tidy up, you put things in order. You turn off the lights and close up before you go. You deserved better than this. We can purchase the Charlotte's Guest remains and give them to the New Street line. She'll never fly again, but her bones and sinews could be put to good use. The New Street line has engines to maintain. Or we can arrange for her to be put on display in a museum. Her wood is riddled with worms. Even if you can restore, you'll need someone with influence who can recommend a more lauded resting place. We would need a cryptic benefactor to make this happen, and we would need more favor with the New Street line than we currently have. Right now, we can just leave the shed to continue rusting. Or rotting? I guess it's made of wood. But it's made of bronze wood? Does bronze wood rust? These are the questions I'm asking myself. Dead of night. They come to me like missives from an angry god. And the last thing that happened before we set off is our new level up. I'm trying to remember what in the hell we had taken last time that we... or what we haven't taken last time that we had taken before. We need a cryptic benefactor. We can't have a straightforward one. Oh, nothing's that straightforward in the Fallen London. I think if someone wanted to just give us a great deal of money for no reason, I would describe that as cryptic. I don't think we've done the bell tolls. I don't think we've done the blockade of New Winchester, or a settler, or a thief oath. A thief oath. A thief oath. Your club, an esteemed or disgraced predecessor, I think these are split, and steam and soot. So, any of those jump out at anybody? Because if not, I'm just going to hit bell tolls, even though I don't want to hit bell tolls, because look at it, it's a skull. That's not going to be any good. In the same way that Haunted kind of wasn't any good for us. Thief Oath? Alright, sure. This isn't much better in terms of iconography, the Bloody Cleaver, but hey. They say there is no honor among thieves. They are wrong. In a lightless cellar, you and your closest collaborators spoke a solemn promise that was... In a lightless cellar, you and your closest collaborators spoke a solemn promise that was invented in the dark. You mingled your blood. What did you swear? An oath of solace, to shelter and safeguard one another, however dire the circumstances, to forgive each other all debts, to name the foe of one of yours the foe of you all. Or an oath of silence, to know and keep in one another's secrets, to the grave and beyond. You are siblings in larceny now, a coterie of crime. And say hi, Riz. I know Riz is in here. Sorry, Riz. Bad would like solace? Both are good? I agree that both are good. It'll also reduce our nightmares, but we don't have any nightmares. So, womp womp. Solace gives us hearts, and he also likes Solace. That's true. Both of them give us iron, which we're up to 50. We're quite low on hearts, huh? We're still quite low on hearts in comparison. Like, we got 2 at 50, 1 at 40, and another that's just kind of clutching at 35. That's not great. I must have done this earlier. Traded in my port reports. So, let me recheck all of our officers right quick, but I don't think any of them want to do anything in London. You want to go to... you want to go to Caroline and Eleutheria. You want to go to Eleutheria. You want to go to... Magdalen's. We can get that when we go through the Reach. The Chiropterist Hoarder, the Inconvenient Ants, both want to go to... Actually, where does Chiropterist Hoarder want to go? Let's have a look in our journal. The House of Rods and Chains in Eleutheria. So, that's another thing out. You want to go to Eleutheria. You want to go to the Well of the Wolf, and we need some Immaculate Souls, which we don't have. You need to go to somewhere in the Reach. You need to go home because your father is dying, and our mascots don't have quests, so I guess we just shibble on Leth to the Reach. That didn't work the way I thought it was going to. Those words. I thought they were going to be, like, funnier words than I did. Yeah, well. Can't win them all. Our Adorable Stowaway doesn't have quests. Not to the best of my knowledge. We've been hanging around with our mascot for a while. We can just allow her on the bridge whenever we like. But it doesn't do anything for us mechanically. It's very heartwarming. But there's nothing to advance here. Maybe some sort of trigger will happen and we'll learn more about the Skyworn Urchin, but that's not a thing that's happened yet. I should have gotten more fuel. There's fuel over here in the bit between. Port sells fuel, yes. Actually, I think it'd probably be better to just go to the transit relay. Because right on the other side of the transit relay is Port Prosper, and they absolutely sell fuel. It's like right there. It won't even be a problem. Did you have to go find the mascots again after you died like the other officers? Yeah, I did. I lucked into getting the stowaway rather quickly because the stowaway appears like at random, and I knew where to find the lunge cap, so I just went and made that happen. There's a third mascot also. It was part of a big update a while ago. I say a while ago. It was probably like 9 months by this point. But I know what the third mascot is. I'm hoping that we can run into the third mascot, because that's a lot of fun. Everyone's going to be very excited. Ah, dunk. I was gonna bring up the soundboard and forgot all about it. Because of course I did, because it's not actually that good a bit. It's just something for me to fiddle with while I'm just cruising the sky doing nothing. Let us present ourselves to customs. We have nothing to declare. Let us return to our engine. Pay second... oh, I thought I'd brought in hours with me. Fuck. Let's travel first class. Let's travel in style. Except this cello. I don't know what that means. I'll tell you what, while this loads, a good time for me to just go ahead and click some buttons. It's from The Living Daylights, one of the Bond movies. I don't know a whole awful lot about James Bond. I started watching them in order because a friend of mine had all of them. And I was like, these are good. And then like some stuff happened in the James Bond films, and I was like, these are bad. They literally sled on a cello across a border, and I have to shout at the border guards, "We have nothing to declare except this cello!" as they surf past. There's a lot bad about the James Bond movies. I'm enjoying watching. Loading Ready Run is currently doing a podcast series where they are talking about all the Bonds and specifically pointing out, hey, there's some really shitty stuff in the Bond films. And we're not going to talk deeply about it because this is sort of just about the filming of it. But having that kind of thing, having it, I'm gonna say sanitized, and I don't mean that. Because it's not that. They're talking about the warts and everything. It's contextualized, filtered is much better. Thank you, Andy. Having like a step removal is making it a lot more enjoyable. I don't think, especially the much earlier James Bonds, I don't think I would enjoy going back to those. Like the like the Pierce Brosnans weren't bad. Oh, or at least I don't remember them being bad. He was still kind of like smarmy and plummy, but he wasn't literally actually abusive like the entire time. A Homestead. This homestead is plated in a patchwork of corrugated iron. As you land, the barrel of a rifle pokes out from a boarded window and fires, kicking up a spray of grass at your feet. How unfriendly. I don't think we need to, like, fire on someone who is just protecting their home. Especially when we just kind of crawled up on their home. Let's leave. Let's go away. We don't need to have that battle. That feels like a bad battle. I mostly remember GoldenEye because of the game and Tomorrow Never Dies, because it rightly put a white dude medium magnate as the most evil person in the scene. Yeah. Xenon says she had a sub and then clarifies the sandwich, which is a good clarification to make. You still lost your terror even from when you were shot at. Yeah. I mean, it would lower my terror to go from a place I'm being actively shot at to somewhere where I'm not actively being shot at. We're going to New Winchester first, by the way. There are things that are closer to us, or to the relay that we could have gone to that would have advanced other people's plots, but I really want our driver to get to their father's funeral just as soon as possible, because I don't think that's one of the things that is time constrained, but I don't want to take that chance. We are also like a third of the way to the next level. I'll tell you what else apparently reset when I died was the was our work at Polymer and Plenty's circus. Like, the circus was back to being shitty, so because I love Polymer and Plenty's, I just took some time to redo all that, and they're back in the saddle again. So good for them. Is this the driver's father or their brain mushroom's father? It's the driver's father. They received a telegraph. Is there a difference? One of those. It was very abrupt. Kind of got the feeling that they, our driver and their family have been estranged for a while. The telegraph is the machine used to convey telegrams. Ah, okay. That makes sense. And we'll just... What the fuck are you? Why was that noise? Oh, because my phone died. That's good. I'll just let it charge for a while. Or you can just, like, keep making noises at me. That's cool. That's a cool thing for you to do, the computer. Let's explore the city. Yes, here we go. Escort the incautious driver home. The Stainrod Mansion. The Stainrod Mansion is draped in mourning black. The lady of the house stiffly greets her guests, nodding at every whispered word of condolence. The incautious driver's mother greets you both at the gate, her tone chillier than lustrum frost. The prodigal returns then, somewhat late, but I suppose better late than never. Your father would have been pleased to see the effort. Well, you had better come in. The funeral party gathers on the main lawn behind the house, sipping wine and eating delicate sandwiches without crusts. Look for the incautious driver. They slipped away into the house, up to an old playroom. You find the driver in a dusty old playroom. A portrait hangs on the wall, showing a young boy and his younger sibling. My older brother and I, the driver confides. We aren't close. He was outdoorsy while I spent most of my time in here. Almost died of a sky sickness as a baby. Took a long time to recover, and I was very frail. Mother and father thought it best I stay indoors. I didn't mind. The world outside sounded terrible, full of monsters and diseases and accidents. I was happier with my toy trains in the window garden and my books. A bell rings, and it is time for the ceremony. Did not scroll automatically. The ceremony is solemn. Members of the family take turns to lay flowers on the coffin and say a few words. The driver places a flower, but says nothing. You find them later in the shadow of a rose bush brought all the way from old London. It was Father who said I should leave, you know. Their voice is quiet. I had to work, after all, and you liked botany. He arranged for a position of me at the Nature Reserve and booked passage on a reputable engine. First time I'd left New Winchester. We can pick a rose. There is a tear in the driver's eye. The moment is awkward, and it may spare their feelings if your attention was elsewhere. Or we can lay our hand on the driver's shoulder. The awkwardness of the moment should not keep you from offering comfort, which we're not going to just leave our friend and driver. We crashed within sight of our destination. I stumbled into port. I wasn't afraid of anything anymore. I thought I'd found my courage in the wilds, but it was the verdant, wasn't it? It colonized me, took away my fear. The driver looks at the house, to the dark windows of the playroom. When it's done with me, what version of myself will remain? They frown. Can we go, now? I think there's something else we can do after that. First, I would guess I want to follow the sound of this commotion. The mid-morning calm is shattered by furious yelling in the distance. The psalmists are causing trouble again, shouts a passing urchin joyously. Unlocked when you have not yet encountered the psalmists. Unlocked when level is known where the judgments keep their thrones. I did read that right, yes? Known where the judgments keep their thrones. Sure. That's not ominous or anything. Chaplet Street is lined with Chaplet Street is lined with gleaming churches dedicated to every conceivable deity, sect, or heresy. And there is a corner of Chaplet Street, nestled between a crematorium and a tobacco shop, where the city's least popular templates where the city's least popular temples, not templates. This isn't Squarespace.com, not a sponsor, that has thousands of templates or something. I didn't pay that much attention to the ads. Have been segregated. On this grubby and profane little corner, a group of yellow-collared vicars are trying to make themselves heard above the furious yelling of a gaunt priest. The psalmist seems to be getting into an unholy row with the new sequencers. As you approach, psalmists pour from their ramshackle church and charge. I'm still thinking about the Puppy Island and Sunless Seas, said Xenon Fiber. Xenon, for those of you who don't know, who might be watching this on VOD, is playing Sunless Seas on her Saturday evening streams. These games take place in the same universe. These games are direct sequels to one another, sort of. It's more complicated than that, but the idea is the events of Sunless Seas happen, and then there's some stuff that happens in the intervening time, which we are slowly learning about, that takes London from being under the sea into the heavens. So, hey. Like, the rats we have are the same, like, species. Our rat engineers are the same species of rats that are on the Puppy Island and Sunless Seas. We have an intrepid Cavi who has armor very like the armor that the gerbils have in that island. There's a lot of stuff back and forth. What do we want to do about this, this eumenical dust-up, apparently? We can wade in with our fists at the ready. You'll just bash heads together until they settle down. We can attempt to mediate the dispute. You can't imagine what common ground exists between a cult who revere biblical curses and a cult who worship Albion's son, but you'll find it. Or we can just sit back and watch the fight. These are probably the two most despised cults in New Winchester. It doesn't matter who wins, but it promises to entertain. Or we can just sneak away, because we don't have time for this. I think we have some time for this, but how do we want to try and spend that time? We got a 68% chance of just button heads. We have a better chance at the punching. Hearts is our least thing of our four. I keep getting this error saying that encoding has overloaded. Consider turning down some things. Is that something that's popping up for you? Are y'all seeing any sort of problem? No, Firefox isn't open. I did turn Firefox off. This is open. Oh, here, this is probably it. It's because I have display capture and game capture on at the same time. That might be part of it. We'll see if that helps. It's just game capture now. We can just punch him. Let's just punch. Success. We did a good punch. They have rewarded me evil for good. When it comes to a fight, the cultists are a sorry lot. You barely work up a sweat. By the time the constables arrive, the psalmists and sequencers are sitting around nursing their bruises. This again. The game did just smush because it was, because the display capture is on top and it's slightly longer than the other one. I can make that slightly bigger. We'll see how it goes. This again! One of the constables pinches the bridge of her nose. She pulls a slip of paper from her pocket and hands it to the psalmist's head priest. We're shutting your church down, effective immediately. You've been nothing but trouble since you've arrived. The priest stares at the paper. He sits heavily on his church's doorstep. You have been asked to ferry the 13th psalmist to the White Well in the Blue Kingdom. No. We're not doing that. We have access to the Blue Kingdom. We could just go, and then we'd be stuck there with all of the things that want to kill us all the time. Blue Kingdom's hard mode area. And we got a Sky Story also. The psalmist priest throws himself at your feet. I kneel before you twice scorned, he says, once by my former congregation, and now again by the prejudiced machinations of this city. Please, take us aboard your train. He pulls a tattered map from his equally tattered robes. Here, the White Well in the Blue Kingdom where the dead go. We will build anew there. We will spread our word even beyond the veil. We can offer to ferry the psalmist to the White Well. I guess we could just have him on the ship and do it later? Or we can leave. Let's just... Listen, you're gonna have to hang out on my ship for a period of several years, but we'll get you to the White Well, I guess. The psalmists of the cursing church are so overjoyed that a few of them attempt to smile. It's a terrible thing to behold. They settle back into their habitual frowns as they gather their meager belongings and file onto your train. Oh, these are the people from the, this is the same sect from the Well of the Wolf? That's not it. Old Tom's Well. We were there once before we died. So now we just have these very, angry priests aboard. That's probably good. Let's talk to our engineer. How are you doing? Help the driver make a decision. The funeral has left them conflicted about their future. What do I want, Captain? The driver smiles awkwardly. How can I even tell anymore? Everything in my head says I should go to the nature reserve and end this already, but the verdant fragment, is it fair to condemn it so I can go on? Hey there, Cash. We are trying to decide. Yeah, turning off the display capture has stopped the errors from happening. We can recommend they finish the journey. This means we would have to go to the nature reserve, and we'd go back through the thing, and we'd reunite the fungus that's stuck in their head with the bigger fungus that's out elsewhere. Or we can recommend freeing the verdant fragment, and I actually don't know what that is. A life for a life is never a fair trade. We've heard them talk about the verdant fragment and how they really don't want to go back home. Maybe that's better? I mean, if we can free it, that's the same thing as, like, getting it out, like, sending it to the verdancy proper, right? As long as it's out, that's what's important. I'm gonna go with freeing. The driver looks relieved, if apprehensive. We can free the we can free the fragment, I think. Come on, it can make its own way back to its homestead or find a new one. As for me, at least I know it was my choice to make. The driver has released the verdant fragment. It will make its own way from here. The incautious driver has decided not to pursue their verdant impulses. They have tried to put their desires behind them. The driver barely talks to anybody now. They spend all their free time asleep, or trying to avoid the gaze of the stars out the windows. They've had a big life change. It'll probably be a while before they're, okay. Let's move on to something a little lighter. Here we have some talking rats. So there are two places we can go here in the Reach to find the next member of their brigade. One is at Magdalen's, the other is at Polymere and Plenty's, I think. Let's have a look in the journal just to make sure I'm not lying. Learning about the Rat Brigade. Magdalen's or Polymere and Plenty's. Either a talker or a gunner. It's the same either way, I think, but we would need different things to recruit them. If no one has an opinion about this, I think I want to go for Polymere and Plenty's, because again, that takes us back to Polymere and Plenty's, and I love it there. It's such a fun place. We've made it so. The one that's not the honor party, I think. I don't, so Magdalen's is the one where you go to, like, talk to people who are dressed as your mom and stuff to work out some of your problems. The very sort of, it's a very theatrical kind of psychiatry, and Polymere and Plenty's is the circus. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this because it needs to be this either way. Actually, now that I'm looking at it. No, I mean one of the rats wanted a party. Yeah, they wanted a party, by which we mean some guns. Which we've got. We have a crate of munitions that are going to be doubling as fireworks today. Because, you know, that's safe. Where's mirrors at 50? We are still 30 short on these fucking mirrors. But if you want the rat that isn't a party rat, that's over here at Magdalen's. Yeah, it's this way. Did I turn the music off? I feel like I haven't heard music all stream. I'm gonna actually check that real quick. I don't feel like I turned it off. I mean, it's the same volume as everything else. So yeah, I think we just didn't hit a music trigger. That's weird. Okay. Hey, hey there, big lad. No, it's cool. It's great that you're attacking. No, don't stop right in front of me. No, definitely don't reverse. Why are these Tackities such fucking insufferable drivers? Ah, there we go. I knew it must have been around somewhere. Another homestead. This one isn't firing at us. Trade carefully packed munitions for bronzewood. I think we're fine. Thank you, though. Yes, thank you. What an absolute jerk of a Monday driver. Like, don't get me wrong, I have some sympathy. Like, the Liberators are giant fucking ships, and it can't be easy to, like, keep all that in check. Get out of here. This is not a place of honor. Let's explore the captain's cabin, see what's in there. More salon-stewed gossip. Should have just gone for the money, Tombs. Almost there. And, oh hey, I brought this up.
Yeah, shaped like there's a bite taken out of it. Yeah, shaped like
oops.
there's a bite taken out of it.
Yeah, shaped like there's a bite taken out of it.
Wonderful. Does gossip take up cargo space? Is it in barrels like ours? No. So things like salon-stewed gossip and the savage secrets and a number of other things don't take up cargo space because they're just they're like pure information and like thought. So fortunately, they take up no room. Unfortunately, they are harder to get to. We don't need to treat our terror. We don't need to recruit crew. We can purchase an old journal. Let's purchase an old journal and see what that does for us. The nurses hand over your new purchase, warning you to not tell anyone where you found it, and they add there will likely be more like this soon. You have gained a savage secret, of which we have 6. So that's good. Get Vian's help for the Rat Brigade. Vian is stationed in the Scarlet Chambers of Solace. She sighs when she sees the Rat Brigade. I know what you are here for. Vian indicates that she wishes to speak with her old colleagues in private. They form a huddle, but their vigorous squeaking allows you to gather the gist. Vian wants a promise that none of the proceeds would be used to finance the recruitment of more rats to the brigade. Cinders agrees to the terms instantly. Vian pops her head up to address you. I'll show you where to deliver the experiment, and then we can get on. Oh right, condemned experiment was the thing we needed. I'm glad we had one of those. I hadn't been paying attention. Good. And there's another thing we can do here? Speak to an attendant, maybe? No, that's not it. Speak to the amenable host. A conversation. That's not it either. Is it in the Treat Your Terror chambers? Yes, it is. Here we go. Request a clay attendant for the clay conductor. The clay conductor wishes to know if they will perform the music of the clay choirs. Our clay conductor is again looking for a singing partner after his old one died. Presumably, he's carrying around a funerary urn. We haven't really inquired too hard as to why. But we were told that there were clay people here at Magdalen's, and we'll see how this goes. The attendant cannot hide a small frown. We've not been asked for that in a while. Let me just go and talk to the lads. You are invited to take a seat. The clay conductor is already expecting disappointment. Sometime later, the attendant returns with 3 weathered clay men. Their skin is cracked and craggy, their eyes are rheumy, clouded as pearls. They launch into a song, eerie and low, redolent of drudgery and despair. The clay conductor leaves before they finish. They were clearly attendants in disguise, he tells you scornfully. Even the singing, a thin facsimile like everything here. Just can't catch a break. No, we're fine. No, our terror, it's at 4%. Listen, I've had a lot of terror recently. I know what it's like. Right now we're good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sack of verdant seeds. Do we need those for anything? We do not. Maybe use another one of these each. How's our clay friend doing? The clay conductor was unimpressed by the music at Magdalen's. Should you be looking elsewhere for other candidates suitable for a clay choir? The clay conductor is going through his suitcase. The urn lies on the floor. We used to tour the work worlds together, he tells you. Rarely appreciated, but we got paid. He unearths a sheaf of pages. And we wrote our own music. If I could just find someone capable of the harmonies again. He begins to rifle through the sheets. His lips move with the notes, one large finger chasing the key changes across the page. He starts as he remembers you are still in his cabin. Forgive me, Captain. His voice is a little thicker than usual. I'm afraid I'm going to take the afternoon off. He will need a little time. The clay conductor is sulking. That's not a nice way to put that. Now we have shit to do at Caroline? Carolean. Yes, thank you, Andy. We gave terror at the office. Listen, we're doing our best here, but we just don't have a lot of terror right now. We're cash rich, terror poor. So don't need to be partaking in these services. Appreciate it. You're doing the various lords' work. Burrower below? You're doing the burrower below's work. I put a new sound on the soundboard.
I'm so greedy!
That's not it, though. That's an old one. I've also changed some of the numbers for the soundboard.
For no fucking reason.
Yep, that's about the size of it. Terror for cash seems like a bad trade. No, it's not terror for cash. It's, we give them cash and our terror is reduced, so we're giving them both terror and cash. Which seems like a worse deal, now that I'm phrasing it like that. It is still better than having wood for sheep. You're not wrong. Do we want anyone doing the burrower below's work? That's a very good question. One I don't know the answer to, and I'm afraid to ask. I think I used to watch Terror and Cash on TV. Oh yeah, they had that El Camino with the spinny blades on the side. God alone knows why. Used to run down drug crimes on the mean streets of Dallas, Texas. Terror and cash. Like, I wasn't alive when it was running, I wasn't alive when it was running, obviously, but I used to be quite an insomniac, and I'd catch it, like, I'd catch it on the, like, 3 a.m. syndicated slot, right? It's like therapy, cash for calm. Yeah, exactly. It's a very interesting kind of therapy that they have there at Magdalen's. Like, I alluded to it a second ago, but they, like, dress people up, and you kind of hash out whatever problems you might have had with them, the actual person. Here's Palomir and Plenty's. I don't know why I came here. I didn't really need to. I'm just drawn to it. Therapy is also a lot more complicated and a lot more hard work than just cash for calm, but I take your point. Oh, they're actors? I thought Magdalene hired psychics. No, it's, they're... You can go backstage and watch them, like, kind of get ready, and it has the feeling of a stage show back there. I really wish there was a way to zoom out this camera a little bit more, but I just gotta suck that up, I think. Ooh, hey. Sky detritus. Give me this road meat. Hey, it is road meat. We got a whole extra supply out of that. Come to think of it, the fact that I've been trying to run game capture and display capture at the same time for quite a while, apparently, might have something to do with why my computer keeps besodding when I stream. I'm sure the heat doesn't help. Road meat sounds like a My Summer Car reference. It's a jalopy reference. Which, that's a kettle of worms, the My Summer Car versus jalopy thing. Because they came out at about the same time, and they're not really the same game, like, at all in any way. But they're both about shitty cars, so everyone was like, oh, one of them has to win. And My Summer Car had, like, a Twitch push, so womp womp. Let's go to the Overgrown Shrine. A path leads you to a broken statue, seemingly ignored by the devils of Caroline, except whoever placed the freshly lit candles at its feet. The face is poorly carved, but its features unmistakable. The borrower below stares at you through one gemstone eye and an empty socket. Our terror has fallen, contemplating the idea that, I don't know, maybe we could get it on our side if we tried really hard. Yeah, exactly, like Prototype and Infamous. Prototype and Infamous were a little bit closer in terms of, like, gameplay and stuff like that, but that's because they're AAA games, right? They're big open-world experiences with stuff to do in them. Jalopy is a roguelike, and My Summer Car is this wild-ass simulator thing. They're, like, not really comparable, except for the fact that they are both about shitty cars. So this is where our inconvenient aunt wanted to come. She has insisted that going to Caroline will do you good. Come on, she says, a fierce gleam behind her spectacles. Your aunt, chattering constantly, guides you through the ash-gray stone chambers of Caroline. Eventually, you reach a little door in one of the less-traveled backways. Your aunt knocks thrice. A door swings open. A severe, scarred old woman peers out. Bunty! Your aunt cries happily. After a brief introduction, Bunty ushers you inside. You emerge into a room with a high mirrored ceiling. Its dark paneled walls are illuminated by dripping crimson candles. Revolutionaries consort with ministry auditors. Devils drink with bright-eyed ministers of the new sequence. The famous Takati general is highly occupied with a distinguished admiral. Where has she brought you? We can look for our aunt who has disappeared into the crowd. That does not bode well. Or we can mingle, because it's a party, and our aunt can look after herself. Which I think is pretty solid. I wouldn't want to fuck with a woman like this. What's the Takati? So the Takatis are is the name given to the settlers here in the Reach. So the fact that a high-ranking Takati general is talking to an admiral from the London military is deeply scandalous. She's a strong, independent woman. I'm sure your aunt is fine. I agree. Let's get in trouble. I think that I will cause problems on purpose. You introduce yourself to very many personages, some great and good, most borderline criminal. Everyone seems to believe you already know the rules, so you learn a number of surprising things about the information networks of the High Wilderness. Most crucially, the extent to which their frequent contact breeds certain mutual understandings. Suddenly, you hear the familiar crunch of boiled sweets at your ear. Your aunt has returned. Her expression is aghast. Let's get out of here. I've learned something about a rendezvous at St. Dustain's. Need to figure out how to make you screech harder. Let's get out of here. I've learned something about a rendezvous at St. Dunstan's. We need to check in. She refuses to say more here. Learning about an inconvenient aunt, you have attended a scandalous soiree. Gained 1,000 experience and a tale of terror. Good. You'll like it. You'll love it. You need it. Do we need to speak to the presiding deviless? Yeah, here we go. So there is, this is where the incognito princess wanted to go, and like I usually do, I'm going to say, hey, we're going to click this button and the incognito princess's face is going to pop up, and the following paragraphs might be real bad, so... Okay. Have the devils, by the way, this is what we're doing. Have the devils forge a ring for the princess. The devil will forge a ring for the princess to borrow. All they need is the right souls, as in those of chorister bees. Fit for a queen. The devils set to work, the uncanny distillation of the ethereal insectoid souls, segueing into mysteries of conducting... I'm going to start that whole fucking sentence again. Golly. The devils set to work, the uncanny distillation of the ethereal insectoid souls, segueing into the mysteries of constructing stained glass with pure souls. The lead devil interrogates the princess as she watches, impatient. This will be a loan, princess. The ring must be returned with interest. You understand this, yes? Yes, said the princess. I understand everything. That's part of what being a princess is all about. With some trepidation, the devils pass the perfect glass circle to her. She holds it up, abruptly enchanted by the swarm of souls swirling around its interior. I also don't know what with interest means in this case. That's very interesting. The incognito princess has found what she sought in Caroline. She wants to go to the House of Rods and Reels? That's not it. Rods and Chains. There we go, because I was going to make a bondage joke and forgot to. But that's in fucking, that's in, Eleutheria, which I guess we're going to go to now, because there's nothing else for us to do right here. Thank you, Bad Road, the House of Rods and Cones. Let us return to the center of Caroline. Do not need other things here, unless you're selling, like, things on the cheap, which you are not. It's fine. So, I did some scouting. And one of these is the button I want. There we go. Here's the Eleutheria Transit Relay. It's up in Hybris, this horrible fungus place, and down over that way. We need to stop by and get some more supplies. And the reason we need to do that is because there's this fun little piece of text when you are asked if you want to go to Eleutheria for the first time. And it says, this is a relay station that takes you to Eleutheria, the place where Pan, the city of Pan, is, and the Eagle's Empyrean. If you go to Eleutheria, you may not be able to come back for some time. So we're just going to go ahead and make sure we're stocked up real quick. Get some more sky detritus. Gosh dang you. Come here. No, quit trying to juke me. Become shot instead. Well, fine, whatever. I don't need you. I don't need anything you're like. No, stop it. Stop chasing me. I'm not interested. Okay, you know what? Fine. Let's have a fucking go. There you are. Just bald bull yourself right into the wall. Let's just gain hull. Let's just fix our ship. Did I do anything else with this soundboard that I forgot about in the last 2 weeks?
See ya.
That's from Comic Zone.
Chicken nugget.
Okay, that's good. That's the you're here, I'm here.
Ooh.
Alright, from Goemon. I'm really sad that I couldn't really get Goemon to work well enough to play on stream. Because that's a great game. I hope that someday they fix that problem with Goemon being unplayable. Unless you have a N64 with a complicated series of hookups like we don't have. Like, even if they just released it on the fucking Virtual Console, I would buy it on the Virtual Console just so I could stream it. But that's not the world we live in, I don't think. What's 9?
Yeah, I'm sad, Randy.
Oh right, I'm sad, Randy. How could I forget that classic line? That's disappointing me. You've done a bad job not remanding about Randy and how sad he is. Actually, Randy's just sort of boring. It's Frank that's sad. That's the problem, really. I forgot what game that was even from. That was from Deadlight, a game made by the people who would go on to make Sexy Brutal and Rhyme, two of the best games we've played on this channel. Annie played both of those. And she was like, oh, they made this other game. Let's play it. It's kind of a zombie game, but, you know, they've done interesting stuff in other spaces. This could be good, too. And then it's just like, chop the zombie. Do some parkour. Chop more of the zombie. Real disappointing. Let us just load all the way up. Do we have anything in our hold right now? We have some packed munitions. Which I don't think we want. Yeah, let's just get 2 caddies of tea, because I think that's how we bribe our way to Eleutheria. And we'll just fucking load up the rest of our ship with supplies. Yep. That game's writing, though, rad. I'm sad, Randy. It's perfect. It's a real encapsulation of the human condition that a man is sad that zombies have eaten his wife, which I think was the factor there. Like, there are lots of reasons to be sad in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. But you're right, Xenon. It is relatable. It's very relatable that someone would be sad that their wife was eaten in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Now, see, we're having fun shitting over a game that honestly is just kind of medium. Bad Road brings up a very good point, is that he's willing to share this emotion with another man, which is something that you don't see much in video games, because gaming's kind of a toxic space, unfortunately. It's actually... Oh, what the fuck just happened? There is a tentative knock at your cabin door. Opening it, you find one of your more gregarious junior signalers. I've been going through the crew records, she tells you. I found something interesting. This is the anniversary of the conductor stepping out from the stone. The crew want to mark the occasion with a little shindig. Is she suppressing a grin? So we can hold a birthday party, basically, for the clay conductor. The clay conductor will hate it, but it would be good for him and his relationship with the crew. You will be on hand to supervise, or decline, because he will hate it. Because he will really quite hate it. Anyone got an opinion? The idea of this very stoic clay gentleman with like a conical party hat on his head sounds very good to me. I worry about hate versus hate. I vote decline, but I also own 4 cats, so that may be a factor. It's party time. I'm not sure we should throw a surprise party for someone we know will not like it. I think I'm hearing some good options in the chat. I think we should decline. The signaler frowns. You're right. Can't see him sitting there with a party hat on. No, I can. She shakes her head. Just a silly thought. The day passes unremarked. Clay conductor carries on with his duties with about as much enthusiasm as you've ever seen from him. The next evening, he appears in your cabin. He wants to talk about tea, specifically Murgatroyd's Taste of Albion on Achilles. Did we do this bit last time? I'm pretty sure we did this bit last time, but I also don't remember how the hell I'm meant to pronounce this. I'm just bringing up the... Huh. Achilles is a goddess from ancient Greece who symbolizes the mist of death. Thank you for not giving me a pronunciation guide that I can read. They've given me the dictionary pronunciation guide, and that's great, and everything. which is the right way to pronounce the word atrocious. Good. I kind of wanted to see the party, but I also don't want to annoy the conductor. This goes the same for us either way, honestly. I've done the party before, and he does hate it. In the same way that, like, I don't like birthday parties so much. I like gathering with a bunch of friends and just, like, maybe doing a thing. But the idea of an birthday party is, like, you get everyone together around the cake and they all sing happy birthday, and it's hideous and atonal literally every time, and it's just a bad feeling for me, so I identify deeply. Also, the claymen are created by stepping out of the stone, so they're chiseled from a stone, the claymen. This was in Sunless seas, although I don't know if Xenon's got there yet. There's a place where you can find where the claymen are shaped, and they kind of come out like they're like golems from the Terry Pratchett books. Like, they are designed to be labor and don't necessarily like that, but also kind of don't have a way to not that. Who chisels them? I think just stonemasons. I don't actually remember that well. I think sometime between Sunless Seas and Sunless Skies, they've had a bit of a revolution, because you start seeing them around the place. Right, my cool, strong girlfriend from Sunless Seas is also a clay person. Are we about to fight putties? No, they're not putties. They are thinking individuals. Maybe the same thing could be said about putties. I guess I've never asked. It's like, clearly the bigger monsters from the Super Sentai series have personalities of their own. That's something we, like, learn about, but I wonder how much of that is based around the idea that they are, like, given a form and a shape, right? Like the putties, if I'm remembering correctly, they just kind of come out of a mold, and they get thrown at the Power Rangers, and then they fall over. Hey y'all, I do a general CW at the top of the stream, but this set of words here has me concerned. So I'm going to give a more specific CW, that this might be really self-harming and bad. Take care of yourselves. Presumably when you don't see this picture anymore, we will be over the part of this set of paragraphs if you feel like muting your stream. The incautious driver has not been the same since their father's funeral. Every day they get more restless. They take more risks. They stare out at the high wilderness, distracted by curiosity. Check on the driver. Their struggle is at an end. The driver's verdancy consumes them. The urges rattling in their head have completely taken them over, calling them to something far away. I must fly, they whisper, turning the engine to full power. In a final moment of clarity, they turn. I must go to the nature reserve. I'm needed there, but if I go, I don't think I'll ever be able to leave. Your incautious driver is now reckless, and will increase your iron by 10 and your affiliation establishment by 2. You can appoint the reckless driver to be your chief engineer. Yee. Okay, so not as bad as I thought. They've just been taken over completely by the fungus that lives in their head. That's better. Right? That's better, probably. So, here are our options. We can take the reckless driver to the nature reserve, and I think that they're just going to live there now and be safe, or we can just hang around with them. They're really good at driving now. I thought the driver released the fungus. That's also what I thought, but that doesn't appear to be the case. I think the nature reserve will make them happiest. I think I agree. I also think it's selfish to keep around someone who's problematically reckless against their own better judgment in exchange for a minor stat boost. We did get 4,000 experience out of it. Set them free in their body. Is that how that may have read? Maybe? Thank you, Riz. I also don't want to overwork someone who's very reckless. So we almost got to the relay, but let's take care of this before we go. I don't wanna leave this decision hanging over our heads right now. So, I'll tell you what, it's 10 o'clock right now. It's not a very long drive to the nature reserve. I say that, it's like literally on the other side of the map. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. So is he still driving? Presumably? We have other drivers. I also think one life for another isn't fair, but the burdency now is just completely eating this poor person. So we're gonna give them every opportunity that we are capable of giving them. We just burn? Yeah, I haven't done this on stream. Let's go ahead and hit the C button. And we're just full steam ahead. So here are the benefits of full steam. A, I don't have to hit forward anymore to go forward. B, we're moving along much faster than we have been. We can outrun pretty much anything. The problem is that we are burning through fuel, like, visibly. You can watch that tick down. And our ability to dodge... Our ability to do the, like, side jukes is non-existent, and our turning capability is deeply lessened. Yeah, look at that wide child I just had to take. I think our terror might go up faster also. Or maybe that's just based on time. We're just gonna get to the other side of New Winchester and then jump back down to regular speed. Set your course for ludicrous speed. Yeah, because we're absolutely not going to make the turn into that space. This is probably good. By God, you've gone all the way to Plaid. I haven't seen Spaceballs in a long time, actually. I wonder if it's still good. Or if it's like some of the other Mel Brooks movies where, hey, you remember all these jokes? Do you also remember that there was, like, some, like, pretty bad homophobic language attached to some of it? Bad styles? I haven't watched Spaceballs yet. Like I said, I remember it being quite good. Some of that content, this isn't very... This is a bad age content is in there too. Good to know. Well, that didn't go well. Oh, we're actually about to... Well, it's a good thing we're over this way, because that means we can go to Magdalene's on our way back. Because, wow, we are at 50 terror. And that's not ideal. Spaceballs definitely has a lot of good bits, but you're phrasing that like there are also bad bits. You were called to the crew quarters. We didn't even, like, get to see the nature reserve stuff first. It jumped us right to this. You were called to the crew quarters. The reckless driver is being forcibly restrained by the others, biting and screaming in protest. Captain, I have to go to it! It's calling me! Let me go! Let them go. They need to do this. The driver slips from the crew's grip, ducking under arms and forcing their way outside into the reserve. The odds of finding them is minimal. They have joined the Verdant now, and soon nothing else will remain. Learning about the incautious driver, the driver fled into the reserve, never to be seen again. Our reckless driver quality has gone. Just the bits that haven't aged well haven't aged well. It's not constant. It's, Spaceballs isn't History of the World Part 1 in that regard. Good. Riz says the bad bits are just the few that haven't aged well. It's not like other movies, which are just wouldn't have been in the movie if it was made today. Right. We can get rid of some terror right here real quick. Let's just take a quick trip into the reserve. That's helped a little. Not a lot. We can take a little bit more off. Yeah. So let's have a look at our officers tab. We do only have the one engineer now. Our friends in the Rat Brigade. Is that all the parts of the account number they need? No. Damn it. Petronella explains the situation while she empties the chambers of Cinder's Derringer for polishing. So with the excuse me. This started with some jargon and it short-circuited my brain. I'm reading forward just a second. Petronella explains the situation while she empties the chambers of Cinder's Derringer for polishing. So that LT what shivved us in the back at a critical juncture in return for a cushy position with the Windward Company, right? Yeah, Sarge gave him a cushy number too, didn't know he's a bad one. Any road, the lieutenant's got a plum office in Port Prosper. We're gonna have to get in, get his number, and get out, preferably doing him in on the way. Wowzers. Guess we should have just had the driver send the Verdant here. I completely misunderstood what he was asking us. I also misunderstood that. Because I've done that the other way, where we send them to the Verdant first, and they get better, rather markedly. They still get an upgrade, although I think instead of 10 iron, it's 10 hearts, and something else about their quality changes. But that's that end for the story. This one was rougher. This one was a lot rougher. We need to go to Port Prosper. That's on the way to where we're going right now. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to stand up, stretch my legs, and get some water. I suggest you do whatever self-care is important to you. While we're in the BRB, I'm going to run a little ad break. And if you choose to watch it, we will make a couple of pennies. If you choose not to, that's also okay. Control what you can control in 2020. And we'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Please join us then. Oh, nope, that's the outro screen. That's the outro screen. Oh, yes, also, I'm sorry. Do please bang donate in chat to again bring up the some places where you can do good in the current civil rights movement. Also do your own research. There's a lot going on and a lot of ways you can help. We'll see you back here in a bit. Hey, I'm back. Did you miss me? It's still Kristi, except I'm melancholy now. I got wine. That should help, right? That's traditionally how that goes. You get melancholy and drink wine and then you feel better. I think that's how that works. So, we're gonna head on to Port Prosper for our next encounter with the Rat Brigade's friends. And I think that's the next place to go. Or that's the last place to go that isn't, that's in the Reach, and we'll head from there to Eleutheria. Oh, we can hear the end of, Sarge's story from Petronella and Albrecht. That's good. What happened on that last mission? He's brought wine, she's brought scotch. It would have worked, Albrecht says mournfully. But the lieutenant had taken a contract of his own. Goddamn accents. I'm gonna start again. It would have worked, Albrecht says mournfully. But the lieutenant had taken a contract of his own with the Windward Company. First he knew of it was when the company fired on their own engine. The governor was already well on the way with another locomotive. Sarge went down first. Bellowing for the rest of us to scalp the daft bastard, Petronella adds. Next thing we know, half of us at Dead LT's got a fancy new title with the Windwood Company. What an absolute shitheel. I'm with you, fuck that guy. Let's see if we can't kill him. That's how it works. You get melancholy, and then you go, kill the person who betrayed your rat brigades, your, like, rat friends. That makes you feel better? I'm pretty sure that's how it works. If you seek revenge, bring wine. That's that phrase? That well-known phrase? I think that's that well-known phrase.
Yeah, shaped like there's a bite taken out of it.
Good. I'm glad that still works. So there's a big thing that we haven't explored here. It's over this way. I don't think we're going to do it right now. I just kind of want to point out that there's this alley over here that we haven't investigated. That's actually pretty interesting. Some say the best revenge is living well, and others say it's murder. Oh shit, I should have bought fuel before leaving. That's fine. It's suddenly not fine. You are not where you thought you were. The sky is wrong, and this is not where you were meant to be. Was this a trick of the mists? Has a wind carried you astray? Have the heavens themselves turned on their axis? We could double back, but we don't have any extra fuel. So I guess we'll try and push on with our 34% chance. Dabs in real life. Familiar shores. You order the crew to stand firm and hold the course as you traverse this uncanny fold of the sky. Eventually, your navigator utters a grateful oath. A landmark. You are found again. Good. That went well. What the fuck, me? How and why are you like this? Here are some hives. No, it's fine, bees. I'm not trying to get any of your honey today. Not even interested in it. I'm just trying to get to where I'm going so I can buy some fuel. It's all gonna be okay. With all the 30% chances we failed, we had to succeed on one eventually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Dang it, it's more hull. I was really hoping we'd luck out and there'd be fuel there. Oh, actually, this is one of the Isambard line, right? Or is it something else? Oh no, this is the, oh no, it's this. No, no. Nah, bud. No, not looking for your shit. Just gonna grab some souls on my way through. We're on our way to Magdalene, so I'm not too concerned about this amount of terror we're seeing. But we are seeing it. It's going up. Oh good. Oh good, there's a sky scribe here also. This is what we needed. Hey, why don't you jerks fight each other? Anyone? Bueller? Well. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is hardly ideal. Okay, I think we got out of it. We're still gonna be chased by this sky scribe, but we're not in the terror danger zone anymore. Actually, I think the sky scribe got caught up on something. I think we're free. I think we got it. It's okay. I don't know why you were so concerned. This was always going to be fine. Here's one of the goddamn Isambard lines. Where were you earlier? No, I don't need you now. I'm almost to Magdalen's. I'm gonna stop there. Gonna, I don't know, talk to someone about this gnawing fear I have at the back of my stomach that I'm going to be jumped by some sort of child made out of ice, and I'll deal with it. I don't need you. You'll succeed at 30% odds 30% of the time if you're not playing XCOM. That's true. XCOM math isn't like normal math. I think there's a special branch of mathematics specifically for, like, probabilities in XCOM. Are ice children a thing? So there is one of the three kind of... We'll go with deities. It's the best descriptor as any. The three deities of Sunless skies are the Burrower below, the Storm that speaks, and the Waste Waif. We've had some, like, almost encounters with the Waste Waif before. She is depicted as a small child who is cold and hungry. We would rather not be dealing with that, I don't think. Let's go to the House of Small Comfort. Wait, let's not go to the House of Small Comfort. Let's go get our terror treated. We've done a lot of guilt. I think we have a shit ton of savage secrets, so let's use that. Request a treatment for loneliness. He smiles the practiced smile of an old friend offering comfort for their comrade's predictable misdeeds. That's my specialty when I'm on duty in the chambers. He begins to hum the tune of a popular ballad of a signaler following from his locomotive unnoticed by his captain, and drifting cold in the dark. It's this way, do keep up. The attendant holds up a candle before 4 doors of mirrored glass. 4 of our staff are available today. Each has their own speciality. Their names are not yours to know, only their crafts. He smiles suddenly, his teeth gleaming like links on a chain. You know yourself best. Who can tend your wounded heart? Whoever you need, you can find behind one of these doors. We have someone from our past. A very boring individual indeed. Someone who once meant a very great deal, or a former crewman. We've lost a lot of crew, is the thing. We've lost like 9 crew. Her eyes light up as you enter the room. It looks just like a bunk on your engine. She's laid out the tea just how you liked it. When did you lose her again? Was it an accident? Did you part ways on the Isambard line? You can't remember, and she's good enough not to mention it. Instead, she talks of former times, of old friends remembered, older jokes shared. It is only hours after that that you remember what happened to her. Your terror has fallen. I remember losing 2 live crew. I don't think I've ever heard too many of 2 live crew. Are they both dead now? I've not, I don't keep up. Should we just do another one? Let's visit the keepsake market, actually. Because we can lose some terror there, also. Yeah, there we go. That's what we wanted. We wanted to not be horrified by the mere fact of being alive anymore. That'd be nice in 2020. My gum is in my bag, which is on my bed. Katie has asked me for a cube of gum. I was letting her know where they are. So on to Port Prosper and then to Eleutheria, I guess. See how that goes. No, not that way. That way has some sort of horror inside it. I'm not gonna go that way. horror, I need to be more adamant about pronouncing both syllables of the word horror. I see there's places we haven't explored. Yeah, there's a couple. First of all, there's this big chunk down here that we haven't really gone into because I know what's there and I don't want to really deal with it. I know what's in here too, and that's part of a quest line we can take at Trader's Wood. We'll come back for that sometime. I don't want to do it right now. And then there's whatever's up here. I'm not certain what's up here, actually. And I do not feel like doing that exploring right now. I do kind of want to get to Eleutheria before the stream ends, because I think I said that in my, like, go live toot. And I want that to be... I want to not be a liar, is all. Just gonna go on our way. Oh, right. I was about to sing a song and then I remembered what the song was. Don't worry about it. Oh, there's like a whole... Oh, I should have stopped at that homestead and didn't. It's fine, probably. They might have been eating people. Who knows? I tried real hard to not be a cannibal this game. But it just sort of happened. Hey, no. Don't run in front of me. We got a whole sky for you to maneuver in. Why are you coming right at me? That's a shitty way to drive. And almost there. It's gotta chill here in the dock. So here in Port Prosper, we can recruit the reckless driver. Nothing bad can possibly come from this. What happens if we click this button? Allow the driver to join your crew. This will get you a chief engineer who will increase your iron by 10 and your affiliation establishment by 2. It does say nothing bad. Nothing bad can possibly come from this. The driver strides into the ship, impatient to be off. As they pass, the light glints off of something in their ear, a little green lace slowly growing from deep inside. Well, that is troubling. Let's sneak into the Windward Company with the Rat Brigade. Let's ignore that thing that just happened. It's occasionally open for the edification of the paying public. Slipping away from a tour of the factory will be easier than breaking in. Yes. The hour of the factory visit arrives. Your sleeves quiver with excited rats, but in the jostle of gawpers, busybodies, stakeholders, and hangers-on, no one notices. The wrought iron gates with the cheery motif of butterflies swing open. A sharp-smiled company forewoman is on hand to lead the tour. Inside is an orderly purgatory of wheels, spindles, and great creaking looms. Steam, smoke, and the crystalline gleam of cracked hours makes visibility poor. Your sleeves squeak impatiently. There are guards watching the workers. There are guards watching the machinery, valuable if dismantled, disastrous if sabotaged. There are guards watching the upper floors into the private offices of the company board. Still, they can't watch everywhere. After only a few minutes, you've identified the door to the LT's office. The little rat hole cut into the bottom of the door gives it away. We can sneak in at a 68% chance, or we can try and force our way in at 55. Or if we had a crate of munitions, we could just blow the door off the fucking thing. Or we can leave. It was $300 to get in this door. I don't know what happens if we fuck this up. Do we want to just run the coin flip? We don't have a crate of munitions? No, I put it away in our bank because I didn't think we needed it anymore. I was apparently wrong. We have some, it's just in our bank and not accessible to us currently. Let's roll it. A successful enterprise. Wilma's had a plan for this situation ready for months. Well, I don't sleep well. Albrecht is the distraction. His performance as a lost pet rat is riveting. A gaggle of guards argue over who's taking him home for their children. Meanwhile, aided by an unstoppered vial of black smoke, courtesy of Vianne, Petronella gets to work with the lockpicks. She disarms the triple vial of cantankerite poison, the rotating tumblers, and the serrated unlock mechanisms. Cinders barrels through the door. You open the door and sneak in, followed by the rats. Within the plush office, the parsimonious... Here we go. Within the plush office, the parsimonious chairman is sipping tea, while an elderly rat goes on about harnessing the peacock wind to increase production. Cinders coughs politely, scurries through your legs, and jumps onto the table, a pistol in paw. The elderly rat blinks several times. Cinders, I was wondering when this day would come. His voice, Cinders! I knew you'd come. I'm sorry, I needed to do that. I'm very sorry. His voice quavers like an unfortunate flute solo in a school concert. My dear chairman, I advise you do not move or even blink for the duration of this interview, or I suspect someone might do something unpleasant. The LT turns his attention back to you. Before you do anything, I have one thing to say. Listen to the LT. Cinder's derringer is aimed squarely at the elderly rat's face. The parsimonious chairman moves to add half a lump of sugar to his tea, but thinks better of it. The LT cowers before her. It wasn't me, he squeaks. Cinders blinks. You what? The words pour from him. I knew Sarge was up to something. Covert meetings, solitary reconnaissance. He made the deal with the company, but there was a miscommunication. They fired too soon. Afterwards, they assumed I'd been on it. They offered me everything. They'd offered him, and yeah, I took it. I took your blame, too. I never told, did I? Let you keep your memory of your dear old Sarge. Cinders shakes her head and cocks her gun. Nah, not having it. Well, I can prove to you even have. The LT spreads his paws on the table. I suspect the only proof left is in the vault. I'll give you my number, regardless. I would ask that you spare me until you've entered it, at least. In her pause, Cinder's gun wobbles. This is just Claw now. Listen. Not everything where animals do a cool heist is Claw. But I really did think about, before I decided to stream this, remaking this questline in Claw, and then was just like, that's a lot of work that I don't want to do. We can convince Cinders to spare the LT, or let Cinders have her revenge. Spare or vengeance. Anyone? Bueller? I think listen, I think we've had a lot of bummers today, actually. Yeah, let's spare the LT. We can come back. The gun's always loaded. Cinder's claw curls around the trigger. Her whiskers tremble. The LT pours himself a last cup of tea with 5 sugars. Bang! Several rats jump. The parsimonious chairman swears. Cinders has fired into the desk. Get his number, she says between clenched teeth before scurrying out of the office. The LT takes a last sip. Let me come with you. The company won't let me stay after this fuss. I'll give you the number once I'm on board. He leads you straight out of the factory, dismissing questions from colleagues with inventive lies. You've gained 2,000 experience. I don't want to do either of these right now. What's happening with you? Hey, you okay? Attempt to communicate with the driver. There must be something beyond the nerves. No, it doesn't look like it. Speak to the Rat Brigade! The whole brigade are gathered around Cinder's nest of spent bottles and old journals. All eyes are on her. She pads over to the lieutenant. His mustaches droop, but he meets her gaze. Here's the thing. I don't like you. I don't trust you, but you were given a number and you've shared it with us, so we'll see this to the end, all of us. Just don't try anything. The LT nods. Of course, Cinders. Cinders turns away. Wilma watches her with an apprising gaze. Rat Brigade is ready to head for London. Ah, damn it. Do we have time? It's 10:40. If we go to London and come back, can we actually fucking get to Eleutheria before it's time for the end of the stream? I'm gonna say yes. We had a big bummer today. Let's knock open this fucking vault. Actually, let's level up before we knock open the fucking vault. Got Bell Tolls, the Blockade of New Winchester. We've done Metamorphosis. I think we've done a Settler also. A predecessor of some variety or Steam and Soot. Let's grab a predecessor. Do we want an esteemed or a disgraced predecessor? Katie's voting for disgraced on the other side of the room. Bad Road chose the last one. Let's just go with disgraced then. An earlier captain in your lineage is the subject of ridicule and rebuke. This is unlocked because you died earlier, you jackass. Thanks. Tarred with your predecessor's brush, how many doors were closed to you, and where did you turn to find acceptance? Did we turn to villains? Since you were already condemned, you decided you might as well do something unquestionably worth condemning. This would bring up our affiliation of villainy for one. Or did we turn to the romantics? The tale of your predecessor appealed to them. Misunderstood, they said. Ahead of their time, they said. Tragic, they said. We've got plenty of villainy. I think we want to be romantics. I do agree with Xenon. Why not romantic villains? Our veils are 62. This baby can fit so much sneaking inside of it. Alright, we need to present ourselves to customs. It's fine, I don't have anything. I don't have anything, don't fucking worry about it. Return to the engine. I don't know why that's an extra button. Travel to Albion first class, because I forgot to bring hours with me. I didn't think I'd need them. We are on our way. 7 more levels? Was that the number? I didn't, Ooh, yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, yeah. There's not actually a lot of level up doors open to us. Oh, 62 plus 7 would be 69. Whip it, whip it, whip it. Okay, let's... So, we're not going to get to Eleutheria today. I've just now decided. I think that it is better in terms of streaming, like, episodic stuff. I think that it's better for me to get to... We're going to kick open this vault door, have the good feeling of whatever's behind it, finish our run with the Rat Brigade, and then we'll head to Eleutheria next week. Hi, Jamie. Jamie says, has any of you heard of Dorian Electra? I haven't. I sort of had, but I didn't know they were like a star. This name is completely unfamiliar to me. Although they sound like the kind of person I would listen to the music of. Dory and I have been flirting back and forth for months. Ooh. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. There's literally nothing scandalous about it. They added me on Twitter from an alt in January. Neat. Sorry, I was taking a sip of wine. Almost there. Nope, that one's occupied. Hang on. Excuse me, bud. Hey, bud. Excuse me. Just gotta slide right into here. Go find a bank. Oh. I literally just found out Dorian is a pop person because Lex shared a video and they were in the PFP, and I was just like, oh, I know that person. Why are they in this video? That's a fun surprise. Ever tell you about the time Steve Gaynor tried to hit on me over Facebook? That was a whole thing. Katie suddenly sat straight up. Steve Gaynor is a game dev. They're part of Fulbright Company, who made who made Gone Home. There was nothing particularly scandalous about it. We were both part of the same wrestling podcast Facebook group, and I had, like, said something offhandedly about porn, and Steve tried to, like, talk with me about porn, but I don't talk about porn really deeply usually, and certainly not to people that I've just met. I did not recognize their name until I was, like, had finished Gone Home, a game I hadn't played yet. And I was like, oh, I know that name. That's that person who tried to get at me over Facebook that one time. I don't harbor any ill will towards the man. I'm not interested in dudes, mostly. Has to be a really very narrow, specific type of dude. It is a strong action by that person, and like I'm saying, I'm not saying it was a terrible thing to do. And once I made it clear that I wasn't interested, he backed off. But that's just a thing that happened to me. Let's open Sarge's account for the Rat Brigade. Halliage is no match for their tiny, squeaky resolve. Halliage's central office is a restrained Art Nouveau building, not far from the Ministry. Its girders are curlicued. Its ornamentation offers a tasteful nod to the clockwork court. Its palette is faded gold like the afterglow of a sunset. Inside, dark wood furnishings, bronze wood countertops, and comfortable chairs beside verdant potted plants. Anything to make the customer forget that they are dealing with anything so crass as money. You approach the nearest clerk, introduce the Rat Brigade, and produce the relevant account number. The clerk's eyebrows rise. At Halliages, we measure ourselves by the quality of our clientele, she says, sounding thoroughly miserable. This way, please. The clerk leads you through an interminable series of hallways, through offices, studies, and libraries. At last, you arrive at a spiral staircase of wrought iron. You descend flight after flight, the brigade growing heavy on your shoulders. Eventually, you emerge into a chamber whose walls are set with many metal doors. The clerk unlocks one and steps aside. Enter Sarge's vaults. The rats follow you in. The clerk smiles. I'll be here if you need me, she says, no doubt ready to summon the guards if anyone puts a whisker out of place. The vault is hewn from the very foundations of London. Mineral deposits glisten in trails along the walls. Iron girders support the stone, enclosing the space within like a cage. There are several doors. We are going to crack open literally all of these. Further doors extend from the central vault. Each bears a brass plaque with the name of a member of the Rat Brigade. In the center of the vault, a piece of paper rests on a stone dais. The note reads, in tiny handwriting, I'm sorry. Open the door marked Petronella. Petronella is reluctant to open it alone. The door swings open, silently. It's good oil on the hinges, Petronella says, her voice betraying a slight tremor. Come on, I've been waiting for this for... Inside is a set of miniature trains. A whole clockwork railway set commissioned from Icarus and Sons, the renowned toy makers. Petronella examines the set carefully, commenting on the intricacy of the gears, the detail of the antique engines. Then she leaves the room, empty-handed. Not keeping him. He doesn't get to clear his conscience with a bribe. Open the door marked Albrecht. Albrecht takes a deep breath and bristles his whiskers. All right, after you. The room is empty, but for a card on a wooden table. Albrecht scampers up the table leg and takes the card in his paws. His whiskers twitch as he reads. He squeaks excitedly before remembering himself and feigning a cough. Excuse me. An invitation to a certain house in Eleutheria, suitable for rats of my persuasion. An odd gift, but I've always wanted to visit. And now one day I shall. Excuse me, I would like a moment alone. Open the door marked Wilma. The door is heavy, and it creaks as it opens. Wilma sighs. Of course he didn't bother with the maintenance from my room. Let's see what the old crook left. Oh, hello. Inside the room is a little table with a silver key and an address written on a neat card. The address is very fine indeed. Well, well, well. I may be moving up in the world. A house. I suppose I may have the course to entertain a few guests in the near future. Open the door marked Vian. There are only two things on the dust-covered table inside. A velvet purse containing a few sovereigns, and a ticket to Palomir and Plenty's inconceivable circus. Vian sighs. Transparent as ever. I suppose it's obvious where Angel would go. She shakes her head. Fine, if the dead are telling me to bury the hatchet, perhaps I should listen. But I'm on a reform mission, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. She takes the ticket, leaving the sovereigns behind. Open the door marked Angel. Angel is the one that we didn't go get. The one that wanted to throw a party at Palomir and Plenty's. Inside, gathering dust on a small medicine cabinet, is a card and a heavy bag of sovereigns. Vivian approaches cautiously. She reads the card. This is the name of a very good trauma specialist at Magdalen's. The sovereigns more than cover the fee. I'll take them to him. I do have a duty of care, and this is long overdue. Open the door marked Humphrey. The LT sighs. Do I even want to know? The room contains nothing but a casket. Inside is a moldering hamster corpse and a deed from Lovelace and Fedlock, pet procurers. The LT reads the deed and snorts. This is supposed to be my grandmother. Turns out I am a pedigree after all. He closes the casket firmly. Let's leave. It's not like I can make any use of it. Open the door marked Christobel. Our long-range gunner. She died on the blockade, says Cinders. I guess Sarge thought he'd make it. Inside is a collection of faded dolls and a bottle of wine. They are arranged in a circle, as if at a tea party. Christabel was always lonely, says Cinders, but she hated people. Open the door marked Sebastian. Our quartermaster, Albrecht's mate, didn't make it. Inside is a golden ring and a set of expensive dishes, complete with several moldering recipe books. The ring has dulled. Cinder closes the door behind you. It's best Albrecht doesn't come in here. Open the door marked Seamus. Our navigator died getting us off the governor's engine. This room contains a permit. It allows one-way travel back through the avid horizon. Cinders crumples the document up. That's useless now. Open the door marked Cinders. Cinders looks at you. You can go in if you want. I'm not giving the bastard the satisfaction. The door creaks open. True to her word, Cinders remains outside. Go on. Curiosity kills cats, not me. Inside is a battered insignia, 2 tiny pearl-handled revolvers, and a note. The note reads, I am really sorry. The reverse reads, take care of them. This has been scribbled out and replaced with, look after them. This too has been crossed out. The final revision reads simply, I'm sorry. The insignia is of sergeant rank. Cinder asks you to close the door behind you. Let's leave the vault. Cinders calls the squad to order. She mounts the excuse me a second. Cinders calls the squad to order. She mounts the stone dais, kicking away Sarge's note. Now, some of you may think this was a pointless endeavor, that all we found was a broken rat's regrets. Yes, Sarge was not what we believed. He was a right rotten sod, but did he destroy us? No. We're down good rats, eh? But the rest of us are still here, together, now. How many years later? And that's all down to us. There's a chorus of ragged squeaks from the rat brigade. Right you are, boss, the LT shouts. Cinders grins fiercely. Sod, Sarge, we did this. We got back together. Grab what you want, then get back on the engine. Captain's in command now. The ratty reunion will work on your locomotive, and just a bunch of experience. Let's just go ahead and hit that button. The ratty reunion. 10 hearts. And a wonderful story. Ooh. Okay. I'm glad that was as much of an opera as I thought it was going to be. I was afraid that I was going to double down on the downers and that was going to be a bad time. But we got there, everyone. I know I said we were going to get to Eleutheria tonight, and that just ended up being a lie. We'll do it next week. Fuck it. We'll do it live. And that's going to be the stream. Let me hit a couple buttons real quick. There's the quit button. And this one's the outro button. Hey. Here we are, everyone. It's outro time again. I've been Kristi, one of 5 women who stream on this channel, along with my wife Katie and her sisters Annie and Alice and Sue. We stream 6 days a week on this channel, so if you wanted to manipulate the follow button in a way that pleases you, you could be informed when we go live. Let me run down our schedule for you real quick. let me run down our schedule for you real quick so you know what you're getting into. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be Andrea with more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, which she is doing all the voices for, which is wonderful. It's a great game. She adds a lot to it. Wednesday is Sue with Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate for the Switch, which she is having a blast playing. Please join for that. Thursday will be quite probably the end of Chrono Trigger, which Alice is playing. There is not a lot left. I would be surprised if it weren't the last stream. And I actually don't know how this story ends. I've never played Chrono Trigger, so if you're like me, come find out that information together with Alice. After that is Friday. Friday will be Katie playing Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the game that exists against all odds. In spite of everything, it's still Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Saturday we don't stream. Sunday will be another finale, the finale of this particular episode of Claw, our semi-regular Dusk City Outlaws campaign. There our crew will be trying to remove someone in what we are going to go ahead and call witness protection from police custody. Let's see how that goes. After that will be Monday. After Sunday is Monday. And Monday will be me again, with more Sunless guys. We'll get to Eleutheria. We'll probably be murdered by a giant skybird. We'll meet the people of Eagle's Empyrean. There's a bunch of cool devils there. There's a lot that happens in Eleutheria. And I'm excited to share it with you. Something else I'm excited to share with you is my friends. While I'm not wrong, that feels weird the way I said it. Pretend I said it better. We have a stream team. You can find them below here at the page at truck.community. Xenon Fiber, Riz Plays Games, Andemonium, In the Land of the Rising Sun, Bad Road, and I'm missing someone. Did I say Andemonium? Andemonium, In the Land of the Rising Sun, Riz Plays Games, Xenon Fiber, and Bad Road. Yeah, that's everyone good. They are great streamers worthy of your time and attention, and if you want to see their schedules alongside our schedules, you can find that at truckcommunity.neocities.com. Truckcommunity.neocities.org. I've fucked that up a couple times now. And that is where all of our schedules live. We exhort you again to please check out groups that are helping protesters on the ground here in the year of our Lord 2020, pushing for a better tomorrow. Please do that thing. It is so deeply fucking important. I don't have correct words to say about it. This is a very certain and particular time in American history, and we can help it turn out better than maybe it would otherwise. You can bank, donate, and chat to see some places where you can helpfully give your money and time. And we have a YouTube, youtube.truck.community. It's good. The YouTube. It's all of our VODs, with the exception of a couple of VODs that got lost somewhere along the way. It happens. And that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna finish this water and go to bed. Thank you very much for joining me, and until I see you next time, stay safe.